Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I picked up this new toy. It's an Eastwood Dual Voltage powder coating system, and we'll be testing it out today, so stay tuned. So this powder coating kit is pretty basic. So you get the gun, the handle, and a bottle. They actually sell extra bottles if you need that. And then it comes with this dual voltage regulator. So the dual voltage regulator has 15,000 volts and then 25,000 volts. Most of the time, if you're doing little small items, you're going to end up using the 15,000 volts. If you're doing wheels, valve covers, intake manifolds, you'll probably need the 25,000 volt version. Or if you're doing a second coat, like if you're doing a base coat and a clear coat, you'll probably need that second high voltage version. But most cases, you want to use a small voltage. You don't want to cause any issues with the powder repelling. And then it comes with this little switch right here. This hand switch is used to activate the charge, so you can spray the powder and it sticks to the metal object. This is a little bit of an upgrade from like the Harbor Freight version, which is only a single voltage, but that one comes with a foot pedal. The foot pedal might be a little bit easier to control. In addition to just the basic hardware, you also get an instruction booklet. The instruction booklet is actually pretty useful. I read through it and it gives you a lot of good tips on where to start and what to do. So go ahead and read through that if you want to get a better idea of what you need to do for powder coating. The one thing I didn't get with this gun was the whole kit that comes with the filter and a few other things and some extra bottles. I figured I have all that stuff at home already, so I didn't really need to buy more of it. The only thing I might need is some extra bottles for doing different colors. So I bought this kit at the end of 2020. And it was actually out of stock when I first ordered it. It took them like 3 weeks to finally ship it out to me. And then I just checked recently back in February, about a month after I bought this and I had this sitting around. They actually have a newer and better version of this kit that's actually $30 more now. So I don't know how much better it is versus the old kit, but apparently it's better or something because they're charging $30 more for it. So over here is the powders I ordered. I actually ordered this from Prismatic Powders. I ordered Spanish Gold, Kingsport Grey, and Lollipop Red. Kingsport Grey, I'm going to do a lot of brackets and other things with it. The Spanish Gold is actually the base that I'm going to use for my Lollipop Red. The Lollipop Red is a transparent top coat, so you need a good base to use it on to actually make it pop. I really wanted to use Super Chrome, but they were out of stock when I ordered this, so I decided to go with the Spanish Gold. I want to see what that combination looks like. The Kingsport Grey is actually also a good base coat for this Lollipop Red. I might try some other parts with that and see what that combination looks like, but Lollipop Red looks good with a lot of different bases. You should check out Prismatic just to see all the different combinations they have from other people doing this stuff. And I got the oven back there, which I bought for 15 bucks on Craigslist. It was like the biggest and cheapest one I found on Craigslist that would work for my parts. So I'll show you the parts and the brackets that we'll be working on today to experiment my first time powder coating. So over here I got all the brackets I took out from under the engine bay. It's mostly the condenser brackets, the radiator bracket, the battery hold down, the fuel injector resistor box bracket, and a few other miscellaneous brackets that were corroding and needed some work. I'm gonna go ahead and take these babies apart off camera. I'm gonna sandblast it in my Harbor Freight sandblaster. If you guys are interested, I actually have a video of setting up this Harbor Freight blast cabinet from a couple months back when I bought it. This is one of the best $100 investments I've made for my garage just to do little projects with. It comes in handy all the time when I'm cleaning stuff or doing things or prepping stuff for paint. I'm gonna go ahead and sandblast everything off camera just because you guys probably don't wanna watch me sandblasting a bunch of parts. So I got these babies all cleaned up, all the paint's off of them, just bare metal now. So I'm gonna bake them in the oven for like 20 or 30 minutes just to get all the contaminants, oils, and other residue to burn off of them before I coat them. So I took these babies out, let them cool down a little bit. You can see a lot of the imperfections kind of burn off of here, and some of the stuff got discolored from any contaminants and stuff in there that got burnt off after the blasting. So now I'm gonna go ahead and set this up and powder it up before I put it back in the oven. As part of the prep to get all the contaminants and oils and anything left over on the metal, I'm gonna wipe it down with some acetone, make sure everything's completely clean before we put any kind of powder on it, so make sure it all sticks and it doesn't react on us later. Alright guys, so I was able to hang everything with some copper wire I had over here on this little rack just to make sure it has good conductivity and everything and it's solid, and when I spray it, it doesn't hit each other, so I've checked all that, make sure it doesn't swing. I also put it into the oven, and the problem with it putting it in the oven the other way is that I don't have enough clearance where it's hitting the bottom or hitting something inside the actual oven, so I actually have to flip my oven upside down to get this thing to sit in there and have enough clearance. So I've got that all set up over here. And then over here I've got this contraption. So this contraption is just a box. I put some clothes hangers in here. I put 4 of them, so that way I could hang this tray. I actually put my cyclone dust collecting system that I took off of my blast cabinet, and I put a hole in here, and I'm gonna put a vacuum. That way I can suck any of the residual dust and powder that doesn't stick into there instead of getting it all over the place. So hopefully this whole setup works. This is my first time trying it, so we're gonna see how this goes. Get this bad boy in here. Thing is, you gotta make sure everything is ready now, because once you hit the powder on there, you can't touch it or else end up with spots without powder coat. You want to make sure that everything fits in here nicely and doesn't touch, and that you could take it out later. During the powder process, I'm gonna have to turn this thing around just to get coverage. Before we get started, I gotta assemble the gun. So if you didn't buy this as a kit from Eastwood, you're gonna have to pick up a filter, a regulator, and then a little nipple for your air compressor. So I'm gonna go ahead and attach this with some Teflon tape. So got this baby all set up. So I've got the regulator in there, the filter, and the little nipple at the end. So this is ready to go. This thing only needs 7 or 8 PSI of air to work, so it doesn't need that much, and it doesn't need that much volume either. You get by with a little tiny portable compressor if you don't have a big one. Luckily I have that big 30-gallon, so I'm good here. So we'll go ahead and get the powder into the cup. So this thing comes pretty sealed with a zip tie. Make sure you don't spill it anywhere. I have no idea how much to start with for this, so we're just gonna try on air and see if we need more. It's working. I think I got everything pretty much coated. I got that gun all the way up into there. If you notice on the gun, there is a little tip. That tip kind of diffuses the powder sideways, so to hit the hard to reach areas. If you're just shooting straight on, you should pull that tip off. Halfway through this, I actually pulled that tip off so I could get some more straight shots onto the metal, so that way it's stuck. But it is pretty good, very clean and not that messy once you put it inside this box and you have that vacuum system. It kept all the power going towards that filter and sucking it out of the box instead of back towards you where you're spraying it. So this is a really good setup if you're just doing small parts. I'm letting the oven preheat up to 450 degrees. Once it hits temperature inside, I'm gonna put this thing inside there, let the parts get up to temperature. I'm gonna measure it with my infrared gun. Once it hits 400 degrees, I'm gonna start the timer for 20 minutes, and I'm gonna let this baby bake for 20 minutes, and then we'll come back and see what the results are. All right, we're up to temperature. I'm gonna take this baby out and get it into the oven now. What you wanna do also, if you have a fan, put a fan in the back so it exhausts some of the fumes out of the garage. So after about 20 minutes of letting it flow out and cure, you just open up the door, let it cool down for 20 or 30 minutes, and then you can take the parts out of the oven and they should be fully cured and dry at that time. Cleanup was pretty simple with this. So all you have to do is just get some compressed air, 30 or 40 PSI, and just dust everything off. So what I did was I just ended up letting the vacuum run, and I just blew it out right here, so that way all the dust sucked through there and into the vacuum and dust collection, so it didn't get out into the garage. So all you have to do is just follow the instructions and everything should be pretty clean. Just wipe it down with a dry rag or something dry. You don't need to use any kind of solvents or anything. You just put it back in the box once you're done. Man, these things came out awesome as hell for the first time of powder coating. I can't believe all these years, 25 years of working on cars, this is the first time I've ever powder coated, and I've been missing out, man. This thing was so easy. Been wasting so much money on painting, base coat, clear coat, and just rattle can. that powder coat was so easy and cheap. I mean, 2 pounds of this stuff is only like 15 bucks from Prismatic, plus the equipment and the prep time, which if you actually spent that kind of prep time doing base coat, clear coat, it's actually more work and more costly to do that versus powder coat. Man, I've been missing out, but I'm glad I discovered this and I have a new tool in my arsenal now. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in all the way to the end of this episode. Obviously, this powder coating is a lot easier than I thought it ever was gonna be. I'm so glad I discovered this, and this is my first time trying it. I've let this cool down for 30 minutes now, so it's actually cold now. It's dry to the bone, and it's ready to be reinstalled back onto the car, man. I'm so freaking happy that I discovered this, and I can do this now at home. Wish I had more room for a bigger oven so I could do wheels and other things like that. If you have room at home or in your garage, you can actually just find a cheap Craigslist oven or Facebook Marketplace oven. Those things go for like $50 to $100. An old used electric one, and then you just need a power outlet in your garage. You could do single wheels at a time in your own garage. Too bad I don't have much room in my garage, so I can only use toaster ovens to do smaller parts. I did order a little bit bigger toaster oven so I could do my Brimbos. So on a future episode, I'm gonna go ahead and do those Brimbos that I've been working on. I've just been putting off the powder coat job on those. I'm gonna do that with the Lollipop Red with the gold base and see how that turns out. And also on, I think on the next episode, I'm going to reinstall these back onto the car. I've got new pretty Allen key hardware to replace all my 10 millimeters. So if you guys aren't following me on Instagram already, go ahead and head over there and give me a follow. I usually post updates to these projects as I get them done or as I post a video, so you guys can be reminded to catch these videos on YouTube. So if you guys find this video useful or any of my videos useful, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Just stay on top of all my projects. Turn on the bell notifications so it notifies you every time I post my videos. I usually try to post once or twice a week. Lately, I've been doing at least 2 times a week now. With all these little projects I've been doing for all my cars, the IS300, the IS250, the Sienna minivan, and any other car projects I'm doing around the house. So I want to thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.